Hey, what up guys? So we're back with another SCP Foundation video. If you're new channel, welcome. This one has been recommended to me, but however, actually I had this video saved up before it was recommended. But this one is called SCP 5031, yet another murder monster class Keter, Omnivorous. And it is by TheVolgun, so shout out and credit goes to TheVolgun for the video. Now, this is a brand new anomaly. I do not know anything about it, so I'm going to be jumping into blind. Unlike many of you who are pretty much already experts in the SCP Foundation universe. So without anything else, let's jump into the video. If it's class Keter, then you know it's already bad.
Note, file under review. This document has been flagged for possible methodological issues. Please be aware that the following information is subject to change and may contain inaccuracies.
Item number,
Really?
SCP-5031. Object Class, Keter. Special
Bro, look how it
containment
looks like.
procedures. SCP-5031 is to be contained in an airtight iron cell in Biosite 59. The structure
Bro,
must be
its
inspected
tail looks
for
like a
imperfections
pendulum.
on a bi-weekly basis. No other interaction necessary. Description: SCP-5031 is a non-sapient quasi-humanoid creature of unknown origin. When directly observed, SCP-5031 will temporarily cease to exist until the viewer stops observing the space that SCP-5031 formerly occupied. Traces of its existence, for example scratch marks or blood trails, continue to exist when SCP-5031 does not. Video and photography devices do not capture SCP-5031's appearance. However, observing SCP-5031's shadow does not cause cessation of existence, allowing certain physiological traits to be inferred from its silhouette. Abnormally small head with no discernible neck.
Bro, it looks
Elbows
like something
branch
from the
into
Stranger
3 sets
Things
of
too.
lower arms each. Elongated torso approximately 1.9 meters in length, presumably for extra digestive capacity. Pelvis terminates in a crescent-shaped protrusion of osseous tissue with a blade-like lower edge. Levitates above the ground at a fixed height of 0.5 meters. While SCP-5031 has no nutritional needs, it will nevertheless hunt and consume any human or animal it encounters by using its pendulous lower body to down targets.
There you go,
SCP-5031
pendulous.
does not sleep and is incapable of expression or verbal communication. Addendum. As of
Hell no.
14/02/2018, Senior Researcher Stanley Huxtable is now acting in the role of HCL Supervisor for SCP-5031. The following is a selection of relevant correspondences from Senior Researcher Huxtable to Site Director Yusuf Mustofi elucidating research progress. 14/02/2018. Initial impressions. I have no idea who wrote this, but there's a lot I'd like to say to them. I'm not a fan of abandoning a living creature inside a metal box for 10 years, no matter how pragmatic it may be. It's difficult to fathom that such things were considered the norm a decade ago. Have you ever heard something scream from behind 10 inches of iron for hours on end? When I do my redraft, remind me to add anomalous resistance to hoarseness somewhere in the description. Could you work your magic and get the boys to retrofit the containment cube with an aperture and security vestibule? I'd like to run some tests that require exposing SCP-5031 to certain stimuli. 08/03/2018. Round 1 tests. Sound. Summary. Forward. Installed speakers in the containment vestibule and played various albums of natural ambience and popular music. SCP-5031's propensity for screaming worked as a convenient way to measure its stress levels. 100% would be considered its typical screaming. Volume and duration, over 48 hours, and 0%
48
would
hours.
be no screaming at all. Selection: Morning Forest Ambience. Stress level, 43%. Seaside Paradise Ambience, 48%. Deep Grotto Ambience, 62%. The Best of Mozart, 13%. The Best of
Likes
Enya,
Mozart.
18%. The Best of Ben Folds, 6%. The Best of Jethro Tull, 59%. The Best of Kiss, 23%. Afterward. Efficacy of music for stress reduction gradually decreases over time. I've assembled a playlist of SCP-5031's favorite music to play on shuffle in its enclosure in perpetuity. Stress levels consistently remain in the 15 to 25% range. Baseline adjusted accordingly.
Hey, just like music.
2203-2018. Round 2 tests. Play. Summary. Test. Threw softball into enclosure. Result. SCP-5031 sliced the ball in two. Test. Tossed basketball into enclosure. Result. SCP-5031 sliced the ball open. Test. Rolled
just
bowling
cutting
ball
open
into
everything.
enclosure. Result. SCP-5031 scratched a couple of grooves into the ball, then rolled the ball around the enclosure with the blunt end of its tail for 20 minutes. Stress levels remained less than 60% after play. Test. Rolled another bowling ball into the enclosure. Result. SCP-5031 used the blunt end of its tail to hit the balls together for a while. Stress levels remained less than 40% after play.
It likes bowling
Test.
balls.
Bowling ball chipped and would no longer roll properly. Unplanned. Result. Stress levels increased to around 115%. Test. Replacement
Oh my
bowling
God.
ball provided. Result. Stress levels fell back to around 40%. Test.
Okay.
Tossed basketball into enclosure. Result. SCP-5031 picked up and played with the ball. Stress levels remained less than 20% after play. Afterward, SCP-5031 began to use its hands to play with the basketball, possibly
Really?
to avoid
Hey,
accidentally
NBA, sign this
damaging it.
creature up.
Motor skill comparable to that of a toddler. SCP-5031 still prefers bowling ball for kicking. 0504-2018. Round 3 tests. Food. Summary. Forward. SCP-5031 was given the choice between two potential food sources placed at opposite ends of the enclosure. Choices: human corpse or pig carcass. Selection: pig carcass. Choices: pig carcass or chicken carcass. Selection: pig carcass. Choices: pig carcass or rotisserie chicken. Selection: rotisserie chicken. Choices: chicken carcass or rotisserie chicken. Selection: rotisserie chicken.
Relax, rotisserie chicken.
Live chicken or rotisserie chicken. Selection: rotisserie chicken. Choices: roasted turkey or rotisserie chicken. Selection: neither, presumed sated. Afterward, while it's
Relax
true
chicken.
that SCP-5031 doesn't necessarily need to eat, feeding it regularly has caused a marked decrease in average stress levels. Stress reduction seems to scale proportionally with the quality of food provided. Also of note is that SCP-5031 prefers to use its tail to pry and cut meat into bite-sized portions rather than rip the meat into chunks with its teeth or hands.
Oh, so it knows how to use its tail
2018.
properly.
Round 4 tests. Coexistence. Summary. Test 1. SCP-5031 fed until sated. Live subject, common chicken, introduced to enclosure. Result. SCP-5031 observed subject from a distance for several minutes and then rolled a bowling ball towards subject at high speed. Subject was killed instantly. SCP-5031's stress levels rose immediately and drastically. Test 2.
Wow.
Bowling balls removed from enclosure. SCP-5031 fed until sated. Live subject, common chicken, introduced to enclosure.
Man,
Result.
what the chicken do to you?
SCP-5031 gently rolled a basketball towards subject. Ball hit subject lightly. Subject responded with a small cry and moved away. SCP-5031 did not engage with subject any further. Test 3. SCP-5031 fed until sated. Live
They're gonna
subject,
use
Class D,
human live
blindfolded,
subjects soon, aren't they?
introduced to the enclosure and instructed to sit and roll basketball forward, then wait until it came back and roll away again. Result. Subject and SCP-5031 successfully rolled the ball back and forth for several minutes. SCP-5031 eventually abandoned the activity and approached the subject. Per safety protocol, subject removed their blindfold to terminate the activity.
Man.
Test 4. SCP-5031 fed until sated. Live subject, Class D, introduced to the enclosure and instructed to toss a tennis ball at the wall, let it ricochet behind them, then catch and repeat. Result: SCP-5031 stood behind subject and successfully engaged in a game of catch, mimicking subject's action of letting ball ricochet against the wall. Afterward, SCP-5031's motor skills appear to be rapidly improving.
Okay, so no one has been killed so far. Good.
2018. Round 5 tests. Symbols. Summary. Forward. 5 LCD displays were fitted into the wall of SCP-5031's enclosure, each with a lit button and a food dispenser underneath. Test 1. 2 stations activated. Screen 1 displayed the image of a rock. Its button dispensed rocks. Screen 2 displayed the image of a rotisserie chicken. Its button dispensed pieces of chicken. Result: SCP-5031 poked at the image of the chicken for a few minutes and eventually hit the button. Chicken was dispensed until SCP-5031 was satisfied. Test 2. Screen displays and the materials dispensed were swapped. Result: SCP-5031 hit the button it had hit the previous day and received a rock. It then went to the other screen and hit the button to dispense chicken. Test 3.
This thing is smart.
Screen displays and materials dispensed were swapped back to their original positions and set to swap again at random intervals after the first distribution. Result: SCP-5031 went directly to the button next to the image of the chicken, experienced apparent confusion after the first mid-distribution swap, but quickly learned to watch the images. Test 4. 3 more stations, screens, buttons, dispensers were activated. 4 stations displayed the word rock and dispensed rocks. 1 station displayed the word chicken and dispensed chicken. Arrangements set to change randomly several times over the following days.
Bro, this
Result:
thing is becoming
through
smarter and
trial
smarter.
error, SCP-5031 determined which station dispensed chicken. SCP-5031 subsequently went to the station marked chicken whenever the displays were swapped. Test 5. All stations deactivated except 1. Screen displayed the word chicken. 7 wood blocks were set in front of the station, each marked with one of the letters in the word chicken. The station's button was set to remain unlit and inactive until the blocks were arranged in the correct order. Result: SCP-5031 expressed apparent frustration, hitting the inactive button repeatedly and striking the wall with its tail. Test 6. Same as previous test, but screen displayed the word chicken with each letter overlaid on a photo of a wood block. Result: after 12 minutes, SCP-5031 successfully assembled the word chicken. Afterward, it can learn language, Yusuf. 29/08/2018.
Soon it's gonna start speaking.
Round
Where's
6
my
tests.
chicken?
Vocabulary. Results. Forward. SCP-5031 has learned to use letter blocks to form the following words. Foods: chicken, turkey, pork, tofu, beef, bread, more salt, more pepper, more cooked. Music: Mozart, Enya, Ben Folds, Forest, Seaside, White Noise, more volume, less volume, and silence. Play: basketball, bowling ball, tennis ball, cat, dog, human, Robert, D52125, Stanley, and alone. Afterward, through its increased vocabulary and human interaction, SCP-5031 has made the following progress: established food preferences and dish pairings, learned to sing non-verbally, and learned to juggle. Six-handed juggling is something to behold.
Okay, it's becoming more and more talented.
2018. Round 7 tests. Activities. Summary.
I'm
Test
just waiting
1.
for it to go wrong.
Introduced table, paper, and crayons into the enclosure. Live subject D52125 instructed to demonstrate drawing for SCP-5031.
Bro, I feel sorry for the
Result:
D class.
SCP-5031 learned to draw. Discernible subjects depicted in its artwork include D52125, SCP-5031, a rotisserie chicken, a cat, and myself. Test 2. Introduced piano to the enclosure. Live subject D52125 instructed to play chopsticks blindfolded and invite SCP-5031 to play along. Subject had time to practice beforehand.
What if that blindfold just slipped off?
SCP-5031 learned chopsticks in 2 days, though it appeared more interested in making its own original music complete with vocals. These compositions might be considered crude by human standards. Test 3. Introduced spice rack into the enclosure. Live subject D52125 instructed to demonstrate seasoning meats.
Yo, he's about to become a chef.
SCP-5031 spent almost 3 straight days experimenting with different combinations of foods and spices. SCP-5031 assembled the words more with its letter blocks after running out of garlic powder.
Oh, like garlic.
SCP-5003 only engages with art and music when accompanied by D52125, but it continues to be preoccupied with food preparation even when alone. 04/01/2019. Round 8 tests. Cooking. Results. Forward. Basic kitchen utilities installed in enclosure. Sharp implements withheld per security protocol. SCP-5031 used its tail to cut food. Live subject
there's no need to give it a knife. It has its tail.
Instructed to demonstrate preparation of various recipes. Recipes learned: quesadilla, taco, hamburger, fried rice, Mongolian beef, spicy chicken curry, chocolate chip cookies, sponge cake with buttercream, fudge, clam chowder, steak, macaroons, chicken abodo, smoked salmon, and profiteroles.
Yo, hey,
afterward,
cook me a dish, man.
SCP-5031 has a severe peanut allergy. This should be included in the revised containment procedures. I would also like to note that SCP-5031 is now a better chef than the average human. It has begun to create its own recipes. D52125 has volunteered to taste test. 30/06/2019. Update. SCP-5031 has said its first word. Salt. We are all immensely proud.
Wow.
29/11/2019. Final test. Summary. SCP-5031 was given 2 months to develop a 3-course meal to serve at the Biosite 59 cafeteria for personnel working over Thanksgiving. Its selections were as follows. First course: sweet potato turmeric miso soup. Second course: duck confit with apple cider glaze and cranberry compote topping paired with butternut squash gnocchi on a bed of kale seasoned with truffle salt. Third course:
I didn't even know half of the stuff on there.
A slice of spiced cassava pie topped with French vanilla ice cream and maple hazelnut syrup. SCP-5031 also debuted its original composition,
get Gordon Ramsay there,
for 6 hands, in a live performance broadcast from its enclosure. Personnel response was overwhelmingly positive. SCP-5031 stress levels at 0%. Testing successfully concluded. Revised documentation submitted for approval.
Wow.
This concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
I gotta say, that was not what I was expecting, judging by the thumbnail and the title, but then again, don't judge a book by its cover. But I do understand why it is a Keter class, because if it eats humans and animals like that, but I just did not expect the testings and all that to go very positive. It's like teaching a young baby or toddler to grow up, and that's pretty much what they did. He learned how to play with the ball, and he got used to music. He became a chef. Dude, I was joking about the chef when they brought in the seasoning. But I was actually kind of scared for the D class too. Like, one of them's gonna accidentally drop the blindfold and he's gonna like just start attacking. Or he's gonna just accidentally eat one of the D classes. But either way, I say this was a really, really positive one. I did not expect that. But because to be honest, when I started hearing all the positive things, like the stress levels going down, it can cook, it can learn, it can read, it can speak. I was just waiting for the moment it goes all wrong and he starts eating and killing people. But proved me wrong. So I really enjoyed this one. Just not the way I expected, but I enjoyed it. So thank you so much for recommending this one to me, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And thank you so much for your guys' support. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have any SCP videos you guys want me to see, please put it down in the comments below. I'll take a look at it when I can. Thank you so much for your support. It means everything to me, and it's what keeps the channel going. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.